Welcome to the online class, my dear students. Today we are going to discuss next topic, that is passing objects as arguments to functions, right? Passing objects as arguments to function. So before going to start, let us see terms present in this heading, that is objects, arguments, functions, right? We are all know what is mean by object, what is mean by argument, what is mean by function, right? Here arguments and functions are the first year topics, and this object is discussed in the second year, right? So what is the object? Simple class variables are considered as objects, right? Class variables are considered as objects. So this argument and functions we discussed in the first year. Let us recall once again. What is a function? Subprogram, right? Subprogram is considered as function. What is an argument? Or it is also called parameters, right? We studied, right? What are arguments? Function name, contain, open bracket and closed bracket, right? For example, add is a function. The function is represented by open bracket and closed bracket, right? So what are the things present in this bracket are called what? Arguments, parameters, right? So here passing objects as arguments to functions. Now think about this heading. What? Passing objects as arguments to function means now we have to write a C++ program in such a way that must include a function. For example, like this, add, and that function must contain what? Objects in the place of argument, in the place of arguments. This is the topic we are going to discuss today. What is the topic? Passing objects as function arguments. Passing objects as arguments to function, right? So now we are going to write some C++ program. Using object means we have to use class and object concept. That program must include a function. That function must contain objects in the place of argument. This is the topic we are going to discuss now. Before going to start program, just I am going to explain it with a diagram. See here. Consider three objects. First one is PUC. This is one object. Object 1, PUC. It contains three things: physics, chemistry, maths as a data member. And the second object, that is CET. This also contains physics, chemistry, maths as data member, same copy of data member, right? If a class has a data member means the same copy of data member is there for every object. Now consider another object, object 3, that is PUC plus CET. This is also contains physics, chemistry, maths. This is also contains physics, chemistry, maths. Okay. Now see here. PUC plus CET dot total of PUC comma CET, right? Just to see here, this total is a function. The thing we are going to discuss here, passing objects as arguments to function. See here, this total is nothing but a function. Arguments means, arguments or parameter are nothing but things which will be inside the open and closed parenthesis. So now total is a function. This PUC is nothing but object 1, right? This CET is nothing but object 2, right? Now what is going on? Total is a function. It contains object PUC and object CET in the place of arguments, right? In the place of arguments means within the open and closed bracket, what will be there are called arguments or parameters. So we are using here PUC as well as CET. These are the objects. Now we are going to use these objects as function arguments. This is the topic. So how to call a function with the help of, how to call a member function with the help of object. So this CET plus PUC plus CET is another object, object 3. So object dot member function, total is a member function. So how member function is called? With the help of a object. That's why I take another one more object, object 3. So with the help of this object 3, we are going to call a member function total. That member function total includes objects, PUC as one object, CET as another object in the place of arguments. So this is nothing but passing objects, right? Passing objects as arguments to functions. Now let us see one program on this. It's very interesting. I am going to write now. So now I am going to write a C++ program that shows or that explains how objects are going to be used as arguments to the function, or else we can say this program explains objects are going to be considered as function arguments, right? So now I am going to write a C++ program in such a way that like PUC object, I am going to consider here 3 objects: PUC, CET, PUC plus CET, right? I am going to consider 3 objects because just now I explained that diagram, right? So what I am going to do means, with the help of a PUC object, I am going to accept PUC physics, chemistry, maths. With the help of a CET object, I am going to accept physics, chemistry, maths, CET marks, and afterwards with the help of object PUC plus CET, I am going to display total physics marks, total chemistry marks, total mathematical marks. Means how to get? We have to add PUC physics marks plus CET physics marks, PUC chemistry marks plus CET chemistry marks, PUC mathematics marks plus CET maths marks. Then what we are going to display at the end, that marks is the sum of theory marks plus CET marks. Let us see, it is very interesting. Here I am going to create a class. So this is related to this CET, theory indicates exam, right? Therefore I am going to take class name as exam, open bracket, private. What are the data members according to the diagram? Int, physics, chemistry, maths, 3 subjects, public. Consider a data members, member functions, void input function, that is we have to read 3 marks, right? Input functions, cout, enter physics marks, C in physics, cout, enter chemistry marks, C in chemistry, last sentence, cout, enter maths marks, right? C in, what is the variable? Maths. Close this function, close this input function. Means with the help of this input function, we are going to accept physics marks, chemistry marks, mathematics marks. Now consider another function, that is void display function, void display function. So this display function is going to display total physics, chemistry, maths marks, that is cout physics is equal to, where it is going to be stored? physics PHY C out /n chemistry is equal to, it is stored in CHE chemistry C out maths is equal to, it is stored in maths. Now close the display function. And next we have to consider one more function, that is add this PUC as well as CT marks purpose. Therefore one more function, that is void total function, and this function must contain what? Arguments, that is exam space PUC comma exam space CET, right? Next, physics is equal to what? PUC dot physics plus CET dot physics. Chemistry is equal to PUC dot chemistry plus CET dot chemistry. Maths is equal to PUC dot maths plus CET dot math. Close this total function, close this total function, and afterwards close the class. This indicates end of class. End of class. First I am going to write code, afterwards I am going to explain how it works. Now class is ended. What is the next step? After closing class we have to consider void main function, right? Void main function. So in the main function, what is the first step? Object declaration. So what is the class name? Exam. Exam space. What are the objects we needed here? We need three objects, right? First one is PUC comma CET comma PUC plus CET, right? What is this? Object declarations for the class exam. Next step, CLR SCR clear screen function, and in the next step what? One cout statement, cout, enter the PUC marks. Enter the PUC marks. And L. So here what I forgotten to write? Header file, right? iostream.h, conio.h, iomanif.h, right? So enter the PUC marks. So enter the PUC marks means here input function is there. Means we have to accept PUC theory physics marks, PUC chemistry marks, PUC maths marks. How it is possible to access that input function? We are entering PUC marks. Therefore, how to come there? Through object PUC. Therefore, enter the PUC marks. Here PUC dot input function. Input function. Right? Then cursor comes here, enter the physics marks, we are going to store in physics. Enter the chemistry marks, we are going to store in CHE. Enter the maths marks, we are going to store maths, MATHS. So like this, first theory, PUC theory marks are accepted. And next we have to enter CET marks of physics, chemistry, maths. Therefore, C out enter the CET marks. CET marks. NL. So CET marks means here we have to call once again this input function with the help of object dot CET. That is CET right, CET dot input function, right. Then cursor comes to once again input function, and it is at this time it is going to accept physics, chemistry, maths marks related to CET. Previously it is accepted physics, chemistry, maths related to PUC. Now it is coming with the object CET dot input. Therefore, now whatever we are going to enter physics, chemistry, maths, those are related to CET object. Right? Now physics theory, PUC theory marks are entered. CET marks also entered. Now we have to add those things. That is, we have to use one more object, that is PUC plus CET dot, here addition is going on, right? We have to come here. Therefore, PUC plus CET dot total function. Total function. At this time, just we have to write inside only objects, that is PUC comma CET. Then what happens? This is act as calling function. PUC plus CET dot total of PUC comma CET. This PUC comma CET are the objects, are act as passing objects as argument to function. So this is calling function. When cursor comes here or control comes here, cursor control flows to this total function. Total function. So here, see here PUC and CET are act as arguments to function total. Now here physics is equal to PUC dot physics plus CET dot physics. Means PUC dot physics means when first time input function calls through this PUC dot input function. PUC dot input function execute ಆದಾಗ ನಾವೇನು ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀವಿ, PUC ಥಿಯರಿ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಎಂಟರ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀವಿ. ಆ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಫಿಸಿಕ್ಸ್, ಕೆಮಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ, ಮ್ಯಾಥ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತದೆ. ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಟೈಮ್ CET ಡಾಟ್ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಂದಾಗ CET ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಎಂಟರ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀವಿ, ಹೌದಾ? ಸೊ ಅವೆರಡು ಈಗ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ PUC ಪ್ಲಸ್ CET ಡಾಟ್ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಆಫ್ PUC ಕಮ CET ಅಂದಾಗ ಈ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ PUC ಡಾಟ್ ಫಿಸಿಕ್ಸ್ ಪ್ಲಸ್ CET ಡಾಟ್ ಫಿಸಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂದರೆ PUC ಫಿಸಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಪ್ಲಸ್ CET ಫಿಸಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್, PUC ಕೆಮಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಪ್ಲಸ್ PUC CET marks, CET chemistry marks, PUC maths theory marks plus CET physics, CET maths marks add ಆಗಿ ಫೈನಲ್ ಆಗಿ this physics contains both CET as well as PUC. This chemistry also contains both PUC marks as well as CET marks. This maths contains both PUC marks as well as CET marks. So next step is display function. So how to display this function? Once again we have to use the third object, that is PUC plus CET dot display function. That is PUC plus CET dot display function. Before this, what we have to write here? Just write one sentence. See out what the total marks of each subject, total marks of physics, chemistry, maths is as follows anta bardu one sentence see out bardu PUC plus CET dot display function anta bardu get close and close it. Now see what is happening here. So as usually program execution starts from main function. So in the main function we declared 3 objects. Next enter the PUC marks. What is the first sentence? Enter the PUC marks, right? Next PUC dot input function. PUC dot input function andre input function ಗೆ ಬರ್ತದ. Input function ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದು enter the physics marks, enter the chemistry marks, enter the maths marks. So listen here, enter the PUC marks ಅಂತ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಆಗ್ತದ. ಈಗ PUC physics, PUC chemistry, PUC maths marks 50 50 50 ಈ ಥರ ರೀಡ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, right? Next cursor comes back, enter the CET marks. ಒಂದು ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ CET ಡಾಟ್ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಇದೇ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನಿಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಆದರೆ at this time which marks are going to be read? CET marks are going to be read. That is PUC 50 50 50 ಆಯ್ತಾ. CET marks ಯಾವ ಥರ ರೀಡ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ? CET ಎಂಟರ್ ದಿ CET marks ಅಂದಾಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಫಿಸಿಕ್ಸ್, ಕೆಮಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ, ಮ್ಯಾಥ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಇಲ್ಲೂ ಸಹ 50 50 ಅಂತ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? Cursor comes back. So here PUC plus CET dot total function. PUC ಅಂದರೆ ಥರ್ಡ್ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ನಿಂದ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಕಾಲ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಕಾಲಿಂಗ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್. Calling function with objects. In the place of arguments we are going to use objects such as PUC and CET. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ PUC plus CET dot total function ಅಂದರೆ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನಿಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಸಿ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನಿಂಗ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್. ಬಟ್ ಈ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನಲ್ಲಿ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಕಂಪಲ್ಸರಿ ಬರೀಬೇಕು. ಕಾಲಿಂಗ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನಲ್ಲಿ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯುಮೆಂಟ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೀ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ತೊಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಸಾಕು. ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಟೇಕ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಕಾಲಿಂಗ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್, ವೆರಾಸ್ ಇನ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ದಿ class of the object. Here PUC and CET are the objects or belongs to same class called exam. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ನೋಡಿ, physics is equal to PUC physics, PUC dot physics plus CET dot physics. ಅಂದರೆ ಫೈನಲ್ ಫಿಸಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಫೈನಲ್ ಫಿಸಿಕ್ಸ್, ಕೆಮಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ, ಮ್ಯಾಥ್ಸ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ನೋಡಿರಿ, PUC ಫಿಸಿಕ್ಸ್ ಪ್ಲಸ್ CET ಫಿಸಿಕ್ಸ್. PUC ಫಿಸಿಕ್ಸ್ ಏನು ಎಂಟರ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ 50 ಪ್ಲಸ್ CET ಫಿಸಿಕ್ಸ್ 50. ಸೊ ಫೈನಲಿ ಫಿಸಿಕ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ? 100 ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಅದೇ ಥರ ಕೆಮಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು PUC ಡಾಟ್ ಕೆಮಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಪ್ಲಸ್ CET ಡಾಟ್ ಕೆಮಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ. ಸೊ PUC ಡಾಟ್ ಕೆಮಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ 50 ಇದೆ, CET ಡಾಟ್ ಕೆಮಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿನೂ 50 ಇದೆ, ಅಂದರೆ ಮತ್ತೆ 100. ಅದೇ ಥರ ಮ್ಯಾಥ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು PUC ಡಾಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾಥ್ಸ್ ಪ್ಲಸ್ CET ಡಾಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾಥ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ನೋಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ 50 50 ಟೋಟಲ್ ಮ್ಯಾಥ್ಸ್ ಕೂಡ 100. ಅಂದರೆ ಈ ಫಿಸಿಕ್ಸ್, ಕೆಮಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ, ಮ್ಯಾಥ್ಸ್ ದೀಸ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಇಂಡಿಕೇಟ್ಸ್ addition of PUC marks as well as CET marks. So this is possible with the help of ಥರ್ಡ್ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್, ರೈಟ್. ಸೊ ಈ ಥರ ಪಿ ಸಿ ಎಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಆ್ಯಡ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಒಂದು ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಏನಿದೆ, ಟೋಟಲ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಪಿ ಯು ಸಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸಿ ಇ ಟಿ ಈಸ್ ಆ್ಯಸ್ ಫಾಲೋಸ್ ಅಂಥೇಳಿ ಒಂದು ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ತಿದ್ದೀವಿ ನಾವು. ಟೋಟಲ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಪಿ ಯು ಸಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸಿ ಇ ಟಿ ಈಸ್ ಆ್ಯಸ್ ಫಾಲೋಸ್ ಅಂಥೇಳಿ ಅದು ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಟೋಟಲ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಪಿ ಯು ಸಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸಿ ಇ ಟಿ ಈಸ್ ಆ್ಯಸ್ ಫಾಲೋಸ್ ಅಂತ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಏನಿದೆ, ಪಿ ಯು ಸಿ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಸಿ ಇ ಟಿ ಡಾಟ್ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್, ಪಿ ಯು ಸಿ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಸಿ ಇ ಟಿ ಡಾಟ್ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್, ಥರ್ಡ್ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಥ್ರೂ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಕಾಲ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿದೆ, ಫಿಸಿಕ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು ಪಿ ಹೆಚ್ ವೈ, ಕೆಮಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು ಸಿ ಹೆಚ್ ಇ, ಮ್ಯಾಥ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು ಮ್ಯಾಥ್ಸ್. ಅಂದರೆ ಫೈನಲ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಒಂದು ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಫಿಸಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು 100, ಕೆಮಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು 100, ಮ್ಯಾಥ್ಸ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು 100 ಅಂತ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ರೈಟ್. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ explains. It is possible to use class objects in the place of arguments of a function, or else in the place of parameters of a function, or else we can say passing objects as arguments to function, right. So this program shows how to use arguments how to use objects in the place of arguments, or in the place of arguments or parameter, right. So this program clearly shows it is possible to use class objects in the place of function arguments, in the place of function parameters, right. So just go to this program, then this concept is going to be understood to you people. Okay, thank you.